Hey, it's Styles from Brand Content Studios. Here's your content marketing quickie for the week of September 24th, 2019. Who doesn't like a good case study? Well, here's one that will show you how just doing an influencer marketing campaign, hip as they are, won't necessarily automatically make good things happen. And kudos to the team at Future Play for being so honest about this, because usually all we see are trumped up case studies that crow about successes, when we actually can learn more from things that didn't go right. I know, you're all perfect and don't have any failures, just me. But for these guys, the idea was, hey, let's raise and give $10,000 to Able Gamers. That's a charity that gets people with disabilities gaming again. So they picked some YouTube influencers who would make and post a Battlelands Royale video on their channel and tell their followers to download the game. Well, when players played, won a match, and Instagrammed a screenshot of the end screen with the campaign hashtag, Future Play would give $1 per one of those to the charity. Well, first, they tried contacting and working with the influencers themselves. The response rate was close to, let's see, what was that number again? 0%. Mostly, they heard back from agencies representing the influencers, wanting a cut, charity or no charity. With clearly no choice, they went with agencies to secure 9 influencers. $30,000 later, and with less than 2 weeks before they went live, 3 influencers and an estimated 340,000 potential views just pulled out. Too late to be replaced. But whatever, there were still 600,000 views estimated to be had. Of that, in the end, they only got 180,000 views. Why? Well, first, the influencers weren't winning matches, and the views for the sponsored video on their channels was way lower than their other content. Plus, the view to install rate for the game was lower than their worst nightmare, and less than $500 was generated for the charity. Although again, to Future Play's credit, they donated the full $10,000 to the charity anyway. Laying out what they learned from the financial bath that they took, Future Play thinks you should know the following. Influencer marketing is best for brand or content marketing, not necessarily user acquisition. Sponsored content can almost render an influencer's influence moot because their fans see it for what it is and they're quite comfortable skipping it. If the influencer doesn't personally care about what you're doing, success is not likely. Have backups, because many influencers are quite flaky. Don't let them mangle your messaging, and don't think those agencies communicate worth a damn with those influencers. Lessons learned, and it didn't cost you anything. Hey, did the content you see in your LinkedIn feed change? Don't worry, you're not losing it. Earlier this summer, they updated their algorithm to get more engagement going and to align with their favorite little slogan, people you know talking about things you care about. My slogan for this podcast was originally going to be some strange dude talking about things you don't want to know, but I changed my mind. Writer Carrie Dagenhard reminds us how LinkedIn research showed power users with lots of followers and connections and engagement. Well, they were the ones getting the most value from engagement. So they thought to themselves, now self, how can we stop our heavy users from getting more from the platform than passive drive-bys? What they came up with was backing away from top trending content and prioritizing more industry or topic-specific conversations. So theoretically, more people would get their fewer posts seen by a highly relevant audience. So now maybe you'll see more content about your interests no matter how long ago it was posted, although you can change that setting if you're the romantic chronological type. This way, instead of seeing a bunch of broad topics like business from LinkedIn's prolific posters, you might see more narrow topics like a return to abacus use in business accounting from more average users. You know, if moving beads around is what you're into. So why keep posting a lot on LinkedIn if you're a power user? Well, because you still want to be seen and liked. LinkedIn's data science manager, Bonnie Barillo, said people who get 10 or more likes are 17% more likely to post again the next week compared to those who didn't get any feedback, which can be quite a downer. It's just that now you might want to start thinking more niche. AI, the answer to all the world's problems, will figure out your topic, then give your stuff to people who are also into it. Also, if you want engagement, post stuff that warrants a response. Provoke, ask questions, quiz people. If all you say is, interesting, then post a link, don't expect much. In fact, we soon might have to start having original thoughts and opinions. Let's see, other tips. Use more niche or long-tail hashtags, since we're getting more specific. Post when your stuff has a chance of getting immediate reaction, so like on business mornings. And if you post same day, same time, all the time, the algorithm starts thinking that's not organic enough. They might ding you. And of course, if you don't have anything worth posting, just don't. Let's talk hashtag Instagram. Quintly analyzed about 5.4 million posts from businesses, just to see what is and isn't working these days. And I didn't like one of their findings. I mean, I'll be okay, but you know how big on video I am. Turns out they found, yes, video's popularity is rising and rising, but on this particular platform, images are still the most popular post type that brands are using, and by a wide margin. What's sad about that is whatever videos brands are making for their other channels, I bet could be repurposed and reframed for Instagram consumption for more bang for the buck. Pop quiz. How long should your Instagram caption be? Well, if you're a big profile with 1 to 10 million followers, the answer seems to be none. None long. Posts for these guys with no captions actually got the best engagement. But for everyone else, 1 to 50 characters seems to work best. So is that what brands are doing? Lord, no. You know brands, more is better. Always. Most are using 150 characters, while many go over 300. Now, about emojis. Emoji eye roll, emoji gritting teeth. Most brands are not using them in their captions. But Quintly thinks maybe they should be. Their data shows the more emojis, the more interactions. In fact, posts with no emojis seem to get the lowest average interaction rate. Now, obviously, if emojis just don't fit your brand personality, you'd look silly using them. How many hashtags is too many? Again, it seems to depend on your size. Bigger businesses don't have to struggle as much for exposure, so they apparently don't need as many. Whereas the rest of us get better engagement with several strategically chosen hashtags. Now, if you use 37 hashtags, you look like you're desperate or having a seizure of some sort. Lastly, and quickly, Ebooks Rule. I wrote 2 of them. It's just how the world today prefers to do its reading, right? Wrong. Lucy Handley reports that Physical books still outsell ebooks. Why? I don't know. Maybe it's the paper cuts or the thrill of struggling with dried up highlighters. But there's something about physically opening a book and turning pages and engaging in one thing in your life that does not involve a screen that people just stay drawn to. The Association of American Publishers says last year, print books made around $26 billion, while ebooks did $2.04 billion in business. And no, it's not just those romance novels that I posed on the cover for. That includes business, trade, and educational books. Meryl Halls is managing director of the Booksellers Association in the UK, and she's quite delighted. She says, "I think the ebook bubble has burst somewhat. Sales are flattening off. I think the physical object is very appealing." Now, don't forget, people use physical books to decorate and to kind of convey something about themselves, do some self-branding. Okay, well, that's just old people, right, that won't let go of physical books. Wrong again. 63% of physical book sales in the UK are to people under 44. In the US, 75% of people 18 to 29 read a physical book in 2017, and that's higher than the average of 67%. That's the Content Marketing Quickie for this week. Your job now is to insinuate to a coworker they're totally out of it if they don't regularly listen to this podcast like you. We'll be back next week. Although I don't know why I say we, it's just me.